Hello and welcome to Digital Publishing Online, and this is Lisa Gabrielle. And we are going to continue with creating the template page for our type variations book. Okay, so I left off with creating the first template page. We've also gone ahead and got ourselves into the master area to set up a master page, and we created a 6 by 6 rectangle, and we assigned the parameters of 0.5 with a solid black rule to the outside border. So this is what we've got. Putting myself, again, if you want to see what you have on your page so far without all of the guidelines in the way, you can pull down this up here in the control panel area. You have some display pull downs, and you can take it off normal and put it into preview, and it'll take away the guides, or you can put it back. So this is what we have so far. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put myself back into normal here. Make sure, again, since we kind of went away and came back, make sure that you're on the master page here. All right. And we're going to select this rectangle, this 6 by 6 rectangle that we drew. Okay. And we're going to right mouse click on it. Everybody should have a right mouse click. And, okay. So we're going to have to convert this rectangle to a text block. Okay, and that's not a problem because rectangles that are drawn as shapes can easily be converted to text blocks. And I'll show you how to do that now. And what happens is when you do that, we're going to get some other parameters when we right mouse click. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So everybody come over and grab their type tool, and you're just going to click inside that rectangle. And just by the mere fact of doing that, what you've done is you've converted the rectangle to now a text box. Okay, so text could be input in there. And then when we right mouse click, we get the option for text frame. Okay, so that's what you're shooting for here is you're trying to convert a shape rectangle to a text block, which is very easy to do by just clicking on the type tool and clicking once inside the rectangle, and it converts it to a type block or text block. And then once you hit right mouse click, you'll have the option for text frame options. Okay, and that's what you want. All right, so we're going to bring up the text frame options here. And hold on a minute, I have to get these videos, a lot of talking, so I have to drink some water here. Okay. So in the text frames options, we're going to go ahead and create our 5 by 5 unit grid. All right, so let's see. We're going to use the, let's see, where is it? Oh, looks like they've changed up a few things in here on me. Okay, it looks like we can do it from here. So based on this example, back here, oh, where were we? Here, this example, we're creating this grid back here. The grid we're creating is a 5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's a 25 unit grid, 5 by 5. So let's go back here and we're going to put in 5 here. Okay. We also want to turn on the preview here so that we can kind of see what we're doing. So notice what I just did there. I put in the 5, and you can kind of see in the background here when I hit the preview that you're now ruled up for a 5 unit grid vertically. Okay. All right. Now we're going to leave the gutter space the default, and we're not going to mess with that too much. But what we are going to do is if we go back and look at our sample again, okay, you'll notice here that I have a margin around this grid. Okay, so the grid itself is not going all the way to the edge. We actually have a margin around this grid. And you're going to need a margin around your grid as well. So the way to do that is you have to add an inset. And I believe what I was using was 0.25. Now, if you click this little lock button, it'll put 0.25 all the way around, and you can kind of see here that you have a grid set up, or I'm sorry, a margin set up all the way around. Okay, you can't see it over here yet, but you will. Okay, all right. So for the most part, that's all you have to put in here. A 5 here for your 5 units, and then give yourself a 0.25 margin all the way around. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say okay to that. Now, if I come over here and I turn on, okay, I've got my text frames on actually. All right. Let's see. Trying to get this. Oh, I think, yeah, there we go. When you select it here, you can actually see it. There you go. So when you select this 6x6 box, which has a text frame applied to it, and it's a 5-unit grid, you can see now the margins are indicated. You see that there? Okay. All right. But when you deselect, you can't see the margins, but you have to know they're there. Okay. Now, if you really want to make sure that you can see them, what I would recommend, and probably what a good idea would be, to actually pull some guides down to them. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some guides and actually pull them down and snap them to the margins so that when we deselect the text block, we still see those margins. So let's go ahead and pull that over there. Okay, now when we deselect, see, we're no longer selected on this box, but we now see that we have margins all the way around. See that? Okay. And I don't know what this is here. I'm going to get rid of it. Oh. Not quite sure what that is. All right. This version is got some weird things in it. Okay. All right. So let's continue. All right. So we've got our 6x6. Now we've got our vertical grid created, but we do not have a horizontal grid created. And we're going to do that by simply holding down our Option key. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the grid that we already have and rotate it instead of recreating it. Okay, so we're going to first, with our selection tool, select the 6x6 box. Holding down the Option key, we're going to get a double arrow. You see that double arrow there? And we're going to drag. And that gives us a duplicate of the previous box. All right. And then we're going to hover our cursor out here to the edge, and we're going to rotate, holding down the Shift key. All right. Now you could easily type it in up here. If you want to type in 90 instead of using the rotate tool, that's fine. But hovering your cursor outside of the box you're selected on gives you this kind of, like, you can kind of see it here. It's like a double arrow, and then you can rotate. And then I'm going to grab that edge, and I'm going to align it right on top there. All right, so you can kind of see we've just created our 5x5. Now, before you deselect anything, what you want to make sure and do is take off the border on this top box, because you've got it on the bottom box, so you really don't need it on the top box. Okay, so you're going to come up here in the control panel here, and you're going to select the field for the width of your border, and you're going to turn it to 0. And notice it turns off all the color. So if you want to see what you have so far, you can come over here to preview, and you can sort of see a box. You can't see the grid in preview because the grid is a guide and it's invisible. You can only see it when you have it in the normal mode. Okay. All right, so let me make sure that I've got everything set up right there. Okay, Command C. It looks like Man, I keep hitting the microphone, and I'm sorry because I have so much stuff on my desk here. And this is all wired. It's not a wireless microphone, which I kind of wish it was. But what I accidentally did is what might happen to you, where I actually made double duplicates of the box on top. So my rule ended up being a little bit too thick. So I Command Z, I did an undo all the way back to where I was. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this again. So you select the 6 by 6, you hold down the Option key and you drag it. Okay. And then you could, I mean, the easy way to do it would be to just type in 90 up here. And it rotates it. And then you can, now if you want to, what might be a good idea is to actually remove that rule right now before you snap it together, just so it doesn't cause any issues. And let's go ahead and snap it. Now, when I look at it in preview, there. Okay, because last time when I looked at that, this rule was a little bit too thick. And if this rule looks too thick to you on yours, chances are you probably have two of the rules sitting on top of each other. So you have to go in and delete back to, like I did, to the original and recreate it. Okay, all right. So now I think we're okay. All right, so let's go back. So far we have created our page, our 6 by 6 box, and our 5 by 5 unit grid. Okay, and it has a margin of 0.25 all the way around. Okay, all right, I think I will go to the next video because I don't want to make these too long. So